नमामि नारायणपादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायणपूजनं सदा वदामि नारायणनाम निर्मलं स्मरामि नारायणतत्त्वमव्ययम्। ॐ नमो नारायण। In this series of classes on Bhagavad Geetā online, we have arrived at verse number 13 of chapter 10. We have conducted so far 215 classes, and in this class, which is the 216th, we will continue and pick up the verses after 12 and 13. As you have been with the previous classes, you know that in this chapter of 42 verses, the first 11 verses are spoken by Sri Krishna. Antate katayishyami, he is going to say later, and in the beginning, he himself began. Bhuya eva mahabaho, shranu me paramam vacha. Out of great love for Arjuna, Sri Krishna himself says, listen again to these supreme words of mine. I will tell you who I am. I will tell you what my glories are. This chapter is named Vibhuti Yoga, and the meaning of Vibhuti here is glory. The numerous glories of Bhagavan Vishnu or Bhagavan Sri Krishna. The first 11 verses are by Sri Krishna. Double the number, the last 22 again are last 24, I should say. Last 24 again are by him. But in the middle, 7 verses, which we are presently seeing, are by Arjuna. We saw 12th and 13th. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahuhu Tvam Rishaya. That's where the sentence concludes. Great sages speak of you as the supreme reality, Brahman, as the supreme abode, as the holiest, the most purifying. You are indeed the eternal truth. You are divine. You are the foremost of all divine manifestations. You are unborn. You are all pervading. Ahuhu Tvam Rishayaha. Who are these rishis? Sarve Rishayaha. All rishis. Think of any. They are all full of knowledge of your glory. But to mention a couple of names specifically, Devarshihi Naradastatha, the divine Rishi, the Rishi of divine origin, not born on the earth. Narada says so. Then Asito Devala. Asita and Devala are, scholars say, with reference to a single person. Asitaha, who is called also Devala. So Asito Devala. Then you have Vyasaha. And why do we need all this? Lord, O Sri Krishna, Swayam Chaiva Bravishi. You yourself are saying, why should I ask anybody else? In this way, Arjuna began, but now he expresses his special wish, his wish to see Sri Krishna's divine glories in much greater detail. Therefore, we see now the 13th verse, where it is said, Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. In the 14th, that's where we pick up now. Sarvametad Ritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidurdevanadhanavah. Here too, it is good to take two shlokas together. Arjuna submits before Sri Krishna. The 15th says, Swayamevatmanatmanam vettatvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. You yourself say, earlier it was said in this shloka 15, you yourself, Swayameva, Vetha, you know. You know who you are. You know all your glories. Hey Purushottama, calling Sri Krishna the Supreme Being, Arjuna asserts, you know and you must tell me. In the 14th, as we began, he has this to say, Sarvameta Dhritam Manye. I have no doubt about the truthfulness of all these, which I hear from rishis, which I hear directly from you too. Ritam Manye. I think of all this as true. Rita is true, Anrita is false. Satya is true, Asatya is false. Ritam Manye. Satyam Chintayami. Yat Mam Vadasi. O Keshava, whatever you say to me, Mam Vadasi. And in fact, everybody is veiled by Maya. Everybody's vision is covered, obstructed by Maya, the inscrutable power that is running this universe. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. As a result, nobody knows really in detail all your expressions. Vyakti, abhivyakti. When something is not expressed, it is avyakta. When it is expressed, it is vyakta, abhivyakta, prakata. Avirbhava takes place when it goes into invisibility, that is tirobhava. Avirbhava, tirobhava. Vyakti, avyakti. O Divine Lord, nobody knows your glories in detail. Everybody knows bits and pieces. But unless we know you to a greater extent, how will we be liberated? Na devaha, na danavaha. Neither the citizens of heavens, who are called devaha, sometimes called devataha, and danavaha, they are said to live more in the nether worlds, in the lower domains, though some scholars say that is how it was in olden days. But today, devas, asuras, human beings, all of them are on the earth itself. And they even philosophize a little more. In everybody, there is a deva, there is an asura, there is a manava. Sometimes in morning we may be manava, human being. By afternoon we become deva, enjoying it out in some way. Evening we get wild and become dhanava. So all these are in us. Na devaha viduhu, na dhanavaha viduhu. Shankaracharya says in his short commentary, Sarvam etad yathoktam yatha uktam. As said by you, and Rishibhihi Tvayacha, by the rishis also. Etad Ritam Satyameva Manye. I consider it. I think of it as absolutely true. Yat Mamprati Vadase. Rather, Vadasi, and that is Bhashase. You say this to me, hey Keshava. Shankaracharya just gives a little bit of synonyms. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. Vyaktim is Prabhava, coming into some particular form. Otherwise, that supreme power by itself is infinite. From the infinite, there arises a little finite manifestation, which is also mind blowing, which is also so splendid, which also makes everybody raise their eyebrows. Vyakti means Prabhava. Na devaha na danavaha yatastom devadinam adihi. Because you came long back, far, far before the devas. So how would they know? They were not born that time, they were not around that time, and now whatever they know is bits and pieces that they hear from rishis. Devadinam tvam adihi asi tasmat tvam devaha na viduhu danavaha na viduhu manushyaha api na viduhu. In the previous verse we said are one only, and so in the last verse I hasten to add, last class I did not mention. Maybe I said Asila and Devala. No, Asila and Asita and Devala are one and the same. That is again a comment referring to the previous verses. The 15th, which also we read, says, or Arjuna says in the 15th verse, Swayam Eva. Now there are three words here, Swayam, Atmana, Atmanam. These are interesting. Swayam in this context is Pratama Vibhakti. Atmana is Tritiya Vibhakti. Atmanam is Dvitiya Vibhakti. What does it mean? You know yourself and you know yourself by yourself. The word you in the sentence you know is the subject, it's the Prathama Vibhakti. The word Swayam represents it here. Swayameva Tvam, then what do you know? You know yourself. Atmanam, Dvitiya Vibhakti. And how do you know yourself? Do you use AI to know yourself? The latest tool. Oh, all AI comes from God. AI is just a slight small spark from His glory. He knows Himself by Himself. Atmana. That is the Tritiya Vibhakti. It's like you write a letter with a pen. You are first case. The letter that you write is the second case. With a pen is the third case. Vibhaktis. Swayameva Atmanam. Atmana. Vetha. Janasi. You know. He Purushottama. Purushanam Uttamaha. Purusheshu Uttamaha. For this whole universe is filled with Purushas. Purushas are the living beings. And of all living beings, all the Atmas, you are the highest Paramatma, therefore you are the supreme being. Purushottama, Purusheshu Uttamaha or Purushanam Uttamaha. As such, in the 15th chapter, you get yet another technical meaning for Purushottama. Dvavimau Purushau Loke Ksharaschaksharam ch Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani Kutastaha Akshara Uchyate. First, Sri Krishna mentions over there in the 15th chapter yet to come in this series of classes There are two Purushas, Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha. And above them is Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha himself is called Purushottama. Bhuta Bhavana, you bring about countless beings, living beings upon the earth and elsewhere. Bhutesha, you are the master, the ruler of living beings. Hey Deva Deva. Devanam Deva. Devas are highly revered by human beings, but those Devas revere Mahavishnu, Jagatpate, O Master, O the ruler of this entire world or universe, whichever way. Acharya Shankar also is pretty brief in his commentary on this. Ataha swayameva atmana atmanam vetha janasi tvam. How do you know? Niratishaya jnana aishwarya bhala adi shaktimantam ishwaram purushottam. You know yourself as Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are the threesome. Now, you are the Ishvara. You know yourself to be the Ishvara. No confusion, no doubt, no ambiguity there. You know yourself to be Ishvara. What kind of Ishvara? That Ishvara, that God principle, which is Shaktiman. Shaktiman becomes Shaktimantam in the second case, Dvitiya Vibhakti. You know yourself to be supremely powerful. How? In what way? Niratishaya Jnana Aishwarya Bala Adi. Unsurpassed Jnana, knowledge, wisdom. Unsurpassed powers, Aishwarya. Unsurpassed Bala, strength. So you have strength, you have power, you have the leadership quality, you are the boss, you are the ultimate power, and you have all the jnana. And in this way, you are indeed Ishvara. Ishvara alone is called Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvajnaha, Sarvavyapi. He pervades everything and everywhere. He knows everything everywhere. And he is all powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So omni everywhere. Ishwaram Purushottama Bhutani Bhavayati iti Bhuta Bhavan. In Sanskrit, Bhavati means to be, but Bhavayati means to cause something to be. That is called causal form, Preranarthaka. To eat, to make somebody eat. To learn, to make somebody learn. Like that, to come into being, to make things come into being. So, Bhutani Bhavayati, iti Bhuta Bhavana. Therefore, Sambodhana, addressing Sri Krishna, Arjuna says, Hey Bhuta Bhavana, Hey Bhutesha, Bhutanam Isha, the Lord, the leader, the head, to whom all living beings have to and do listen. And Deva Deva Jagatpate. Bhagavan Bhashyakara looks at Deva Deva and Jagatpate. They are such simple, well-known words. He doesn't add even a single word of explanation. He thinks the readers know Deva Deva, Devanam Deva. There was a TV serial that was coming some time back. Devo ka Dev Mahadev. Lord Shiva was praised in that serial. Lord Shiva's extraordinary acts of grace. Devo ka Dev Mahadev. Deva Deva is the Devanam Deva. In this way, we have Sri Arjuna speaking to Sri Krishna and first of all acknowledging his supreme Lord Sri Krishna's supreme powers, supreme position, his unsurpassed tradition, unsurpassed, you can say, gifts or abilities, you may say. Now, going further, you have 16 and 17. Arjuna has a specific request. After acknowledging the greatness of Sri Krishna, he says, Vaktumarhasi asheshena divya hyatma vibhutayah yabhir vibhutibhir lokan imanstvam vyapya tishtasi. And further, in 17, Katham vidyamaham yogin tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. So let's begin with the 16 itself. In 16, he says, Vaktum arhasi asheshena. This Vaktum, they call it Tumun Pratyaya. Vach is to speak, Vaktum means to speak. I want to speak, if you want to say, Vaktum Ichchami. I want to study, Patitum Ichchami. I want to go, Gantum Ichchami. So Vaktum and Arhasi, if not in this structure, if it's not with the Tum, Vaktum, then it means you are fit to, you are eligible for something. Arhata means eligibility. So people who may not be familiar with these structures think Vaktum Arhasi. Oh, that means you are fit to tell me. No. Moment Tum and Arh come together, it becomes a request. Vaktum Arhasi means you ought to tell me. Please tell me what? Divyaha Atma Vibhutaya. All the glories of yourself, not somebody else's. Your own glories, your own greatness in all different shades, different aspects. Here also, it seems to me, there is a little liberty that Veda Vyasa takes with the grammar. Moment you say Vaktum and Divya Atma Vibhutayaha, there the word Vibhuti should go to second case plural, strictly speaking. That means, you know, Matihi Mati Matayaha, Matim Mati Mati Matihi. So Vibhutihi. But it is Vibhutayaha, first case is used, though it is the object of Vaktum. Tvam Divyaha Atma Vibhutihi Vaktum Arhasi. That is proper grammar. But though it is possible to justify this, saying the two words implied, Divyaha Atma Bhutayaha Yaha Taha, in the Bhāshya that is done so. You have a stotra, Annapurneshwari, Annapurna stotra. And it is grammar-wise very different from all other stotras. It begins with a number of words and then it says, please protect me. So if you are addressing Mother Parvati, Sambodhana, all the words have to be in Sambodhana, vocative case. But in that stotra, Nityanandakari, Varabhayakari, Saundarya Ratnakari, etc. And finally it says, Mata Annapurneshwari. All are in first case. This shloka resembles that from the grammar point of view. In this shloka, the Vibhutayaha should have been in second case. In that Annapurna Stotra, all the names should have gone into Sambodhana Vibhakti. So, there are many stotras where you address and all the words are accordingly put in Sambodhana Vibhakti. There is a Shiva Stotra. He Chandra Chuda Madananta Kashula Pani Sambodhana. Sthano Girisha Girijesha Mahesha Shambho. It is not Shambhu, nor is it Shambhum there. Shambho, that is Sambodhana. Bhutesha Bhita Bhaya Sudana, etc. All of them are Sambodhana. So Annapurna Stotra, I long back asked a Sanskrit Pandit, a Sanskrit professor, tell me, he looked at it, what doubt in? I said, Bhiksham Dehi, fourth line. Bhiksham Dehi Karavalambana Kari, Mata Annapurneshwari. I said, you are praying to Annapurna Devi. Bhiksham Dehi, you are saying. Therefore, the Annapurna Devi should go in Sambodhana. Oh Devi, give me alms, give me food. Right? And that professor, very learned in Bangalore, he said, oh, yes, you are right. I never noticed this. First he smiled. I know this stotra from my childhood, he said. Now he's no more. One professor, B.S.R.K. Rao. Oh, so he said, I never noticed this. You have drawn my attention to it. Let me think for a moment. Then he said, well, all you need to do is all those many words which are in Pratama Vibhakti are to be taken as description. And then, O mother of such description is to be taken as implied. O mother of such description, that Sambodhana is required to say Bhiksham De in order to say. So, likewise here, though Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha Pratama Vibhakti is given, what is required is Dvitiya Vibhakti as the object of Bhaktum, you may say. Say what you have to say, Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha, and then add a word. Taha Bhaktum Arhasi. You ought to, you must say, I request you to describe those. Or either you justify that or you say Vyasa at places takes liberty with the language. It's for you to take it in modern grammatically correct manner. This is Arsha Prayoga, Prayoga which is permitted to Rishis. Arsha means related to Rishis. Yabhir vibhuti bihi lokan iman tvam vyapya tishtasi. Vyapya, pervading. You pervade in the entire universe. In all that you created, you are present. There is not a single spot where you are not to be seen. So philosophically they say the karana pervades the karya. Clay is the karana, cause. And in the pot made with clay, every bit of the pot has clay in it. If you take clay out of the pot, nothing remains. Swami Vivekananda also brought it to a certain moral plane, that principle. He said, to imagine means is different and the end is different is your folly. Don't make that mistake. The end is nothing but the means itself appearing in another way. So in the example of the pot and clay, pot is clay itself appearing in another way. Now how does it come to the moral plane? In moral plane too, let us say we are very rich but we don't have happiness or peace. Then people may say, oh, she has so much wealth, he is so rich. Why is he unhappy? Thing is, happiness is the end, is the result, is something that comes as the outcome. And the means is not just wealth. Means is how you have treated people, how you have lived, whether you lived as per values. This morning I watched a 2-minute question answer with Sri Ravi Shankar, and some young man asked Ravi Shankar a question. Why should we do good things? Why should we be good people? In this world, people who are doing wrong things are all having a great time. They are becoming rich very fast, and so on. I was curious how Sri answers it. Sri, who speaks for just 1 minute, 50 seconds he agrees with the questioner. Yes, in this world, when you look around, people who have been corrupt, who have been immoral, are having good time. And my dear young man, in the olden days also, Ravana had wonderful time in Lanka. And because he died by the arrow of Rama, he got liberated. If arrow of Rama hits you, that is enough. That's the greatest blessing. So he was liberated. Duryodhana also, till the war started, had a great grand time. He was the boss. And later also, he must have gone to heaven, he says. So they not only have a good time in life, they even go to heaven or get liberated later. So I said, what's this? Sri Ravi Shankar is agreeing with the questioner that bad people have a good time. But then he says, but there is a big difference. The good people who may not have much comforts, much pleasures, much freedom to go places, etc., when they get sleep, they sleep very well. Every night they sleep well. And bad people, though they may enjoy the day, going to expensive places, buying the most expensive tickets for a show because they have the money and they have the influence. He says, in just 4 seconds, he says, good people sleep well, bad people cannot sleep because their mind is always thinking, will the police catch me? Will my own husband leave me when he knows certain wrong things I have done? When my own wife leave me and go? My own children desert me when they come to know. Because either our property is taken away or nobody takes our property, let's say. Nobody takes away our titles that we have won. But people may not want to have anything to do with us. They may say namaste and just walk away. That is a slap on your face. Therefore, Sri Ravi Shankar, with just 2 sentences at the end, says, good people sleep well, have an antakarana free of conflict. Therefore, don't judge yourself. The practical side of it is this. Because you see a corrupt man going in an expensive car and he receives eminent, great people at his home. Let me not mention the name, but some time back there was a photograph which came in the newspapers. Somebody in some part of the country, India, who is known to be very corrupt and has committed many crimes. And in his house, Sringeri Junior Jagat Guru. Sringeri has one senior and one junior. The junior Jagat Guru visits the house of this corrupt man, and the corrupt man and his wife both are doing Pada Puja of the Jagat Guru of Sringeri. And so the doubt all of us had is, oh my God, of all people, why should the Sringeri Jagat Guru even set his foot in the house of such a corrupt person? So we envy. These people are having a jolly good time. Then they even have great saints. Sringeri Jagat Gurus are great saints. They are very pure-hearted people. The younger one especially, especially means in another new way. He's so young and not into mundane things. He's a tapasvi already. The older one, of course. In a position of Jagadguru of Sringeri, Kanchi, Dwaraka, Puri, Joshirmat, etc., you want to spend 1 year without some kind of accusation by some people, some criticism by some people is difficult. So the senior Jagadguru of Sringeri, I respect him immensely. All these years, he has held the fort, not got into any politics, not appearing to be subservient to some powerful people or to wealthy people. If you think of a picture of Sringeri, the senior Jagadguru, that picture is one of being very committed to the role to be played. The role is to do puja daily. The role is to give Ashirvachana when everybody gets some good direction. The role is to do a lot of japa. And the Bharati Tirtha Swamigal has been doing that. Some people may criticize him for some very traditional views. But when we see his personality, he has no impure thoughts. He follows a certain tradition. His bosom is free of any ill will. He is free of any pride or arrogance. No such thing. He just goes by what he understands of the scriptures with bhuta daya, with love and compassion for all. Nobody on the earth can be free of some criticism from some angles of view. Finally, time will tell who was right. Time will tell whether the critics were right or the one who was criticized was right. Anyway, to go from Sri Ravi Shankar, I went to Shangeri Jagadgurus and so on. But to complete the reference, you may wonder, but why did he accept the invitation to the house of such a corrupt man? Maybe the junior Jagadguru of Shringeri must have hesitated first. Should we accept that invitation? Are we just going for receiving some dakshina? But then he must have had some discussion. Maybe the advisors said, Swami, finally it is up to you. We don't put any pressure on you to go. But from another angle of view, you are full of kshama. Maybe by your visiting and blessing him, he will become less corrupt and slowly he'll come out. Your compassion, your totally selfless outlook, you certainly do not want one penny from him. But you go, what do you go do there? You don't go to eat or drink there. You go there. In their house, again the Shangeri Jagat Guru does a nice puja. Very nice puja. So by your doing puja at that corrupt rich man's house, maybe the house atmosphere, vibrations will change and the corrupt man might have second thoughts about the way he has been living. So whatever it is, finally I would imagine the Sringeri Jagat Guru must have thought, I don't care whether he is good man or bad man. In my eyes, all of them are creation of God. And I don't go there to show respect to him. I go there to again do puja of Chandramaulishwara. And I can give tirtha and prasad to Tom, Dick, and Harry. Lower caste, upper caste, rich, poor, famous, infamous. Some jailbird may come there. Jailbird who has just come out of the jail, prasad will be given. So this is a challenge for me. Without being judgmental about the deservedness of the host tomorrow, I will go and I will perform. I will think only of Shiva. and then I come out. He gives dakshina or not is not my concern. So that kind of outlooks are also in this word. Now coming back, Yabhir Vibhuti Dev Lokan Imanstum Vyapya Tishtasi. You are everywhere. Mahatmya Vistaraihi, says Sri Shankaracharya. Otherwise, there are no words to be explained, no explanation is needed. Now we quickly go to, we have read, I think, already the 17th verse. It's a nice verse. There also, permit me to make a quick comment on a little Sanskrit. Many people who may hurriedly read this shloka, Katham Vidyam. Oh, Vidya means knowledge. Vidya means learning. Vidyam is second case of it. Ramam, Rame, Rama, Ramam, Vidyam. No, Vidya here has nothing to do with the word that means knowledge, that means learning. Vidyam is a verb here, not a noun. Katham Vidyam means how would I know? Kuryam, how would I do? Janiya, how would I know? It's another verb for know only. So Katham Vidyam means how can I know? It's a Kriyapada, not Sannarthaka pada. So Katham Vidyam Aham Yogin. He calls Sri Krishna Yogi. Arjuna calls Sri Krishna Yogi. Oh Yogin, how how do I know you? And Sada Parichintayan. I would like to know you and constantly think of you, remember you, or constantly thinking of you, I would come to know. Tell me how to think of you, tell me how I would know you. Keshu cha bhaveshu chintyaha asi bhagavan maya. In what forms? Keshu. This is typical structure of Indian languages. You repeat keshu. One keshu means in what? In what forms? Twice you repeat. So in English, you can't say in what forms can we think of you. There is no structure. Though some expressions like in many ways is correct in English. But you can't say I saw a number of small rabbits there. I saw a number of small rabbits. Who cares? Don't care too much for English. Let this not be a Sanskrit class or English class. Develop love for God and inquire what truth is. Bad language also goes. However, keshu cha bhaveshu means to do a proper English translation. How do I think of you in what forms? What various forms? What various forms? Which are the various forms? Which are the numerous forms in all of which there is scope for contemplation upon you? Maya Bhagavan addressing him, O revered Lord, Chintyosi. This also calls for a very short commentary. Shankaracharya's commentary is relatively short compared with some Madhusudana Saraswati's commentary. But once I looked at Sriman Madhvacharya's commentary on Gita, a lot of places Madhvacharya gives very brief, doesn't explain many words. Maybe it all depended on for whom they wrote. If the students who were to use their Bhashya already were quite good in Sanskrit and in philosophical understanding, there are portions which do not require any explanation. But then, if a Bhashya is written for people who do not know ABC of these things, then you need to explain every word. Therefore, short or long, each has its own merit. Now, the brief commentary by Bhagavan Bhashyakara Sri Shankaracharya, Katham Vidyam, Katham Vijaniyam, verb. How would I know? It doesn't have connection with Vidya, the noun, though the root is same. Vid is to know, Vidya, knowledge, and Vidya means the, I guess, potential mood, they call it. Vidilink, you have present tense, past tense, imperative mood, potential mood, benedictory mood. Then in Sanskrit, we have three kinds of past tense, two kinds of future tense, and then some three or four moods. They're called lakaras. Lat, lot, lung, ling, ashirling, and lung, lut, etc. The words that Panini had given, they're very helpful. They are like code words. Like today you say AI, AI. A farmer in a village may not know what is AI. He may just know a little bit. AI, oh, I do it all the time in my cow shed, he may say. Why, what? You do AI? For him, AI may mean artificial insemination. He gets the cows pregnant by injection. AI could mean artificial insemination. Other day I was flying from Bangalore to Mumbai to Bangalore, and that's when something was there. Greatness of AI. Oh, this magazine also talking of artificial intelligence. Then I saw it was not artificial intelligence. That was AI stood for Air India. Air India also AI. So just as words may not be very clear to many people, so the once you know, they are very helpful. This is lut, that is lot, this is ling. Imperative mood is lot, for example. Come, go, stand up, drink, read, meditate. You say to somebody. So Vijaniyam is potential mood. Vidiling, how will I know? Uh, or it could be something similar, Ashirling maybe. So, hey yogin, hey great yogi, Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna that way. Tvam sada parichintayan. These are words from the shloka itself. Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu vastushu. I would add rupeshu, prakareshu. In what kind of expressions? Chintyaha asi, dhyeyaha asi, Bhagavan maya. It's called potential passive participle. How are you to be thought? You are to be thought. Active voice would be, how am I to think of you? How are you to be thought? I drink coffee. Coffee is drunk by me. Structures. So chintyaha, dhyeyaha. In Bhajagovindam, you have a sweet shloka. Geyam Geeta Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Shripati Rupamajasram Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam Deyam Deenajanaya Cha Vittam. So Geyam, Dhyeyam, Neyam, Deyam, all this. Sripati, Lord Vishnu's form has to be contemplated upon. Poor people have to be given some gifts or money. And Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama ought to be sung. And your mind has to be led in satsanga. So that's how dhyeya. Arjuna uses the word chintya. Shankaracharya gives the synonym dhyeya. How are you to be thought? How do I, how should you think? How should you contemplate? In a way, this is the whole purpose of the entire um, chapter. 10th chapter, how would it help us? 10th chapter, if you study again and again, you will have lot of food for thought, lot of material to think of God, how you may contemplate on God. We'll see the last shloka in the mouth of Arjuna in the next class, then get down to Sri Krishna's beautiful answers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.